Yinlin, Xiangli Yao, and their signature weapons are having a rerun in just a few hours. So today, we're diving into some analysis to help you decide if you should pull for them and their weapons. I'll break down their kits and their overall value and their weapons in the current meta. Plus, we'll look ahead at what's coming in version 2.0 and beyond, using some leaked info on future characters and echoes to help you make a well-informed decision. By the end of this video, you'll know whether these banners are worth your hard-earned astrites or if you should hold off. Let's get started. Let's start with Yinlin, currently the best Electro sub DPS. Yinlin's playstyle centers around her coordinated attacks and outrow buff, which gives a 20% Electro damage buff and 25% liberation damage buff for the next character. While she's currently the best Electro sub DPS in the game, her damage output is relatively low compared to other DPS, especially the main DPS. She's most effective when paired with Xiangli Yao, since he relies mostly on liberation damage, but outside of that synergy, her value diminishes. In a duo DPS comp, Yinlin can be easily replaced by a stronger main DPS character. Additionally, considering how quickly power creep happens in games like this, it's likely we'll see better Electro sub DPS options introduced in version 2.0 or later. For now, there's no concrete information about a future Electro main DPS, so Yinlin's utility is mostly tied to her synergy with Xiangli Yao. That being said, Yinlin's design and coordinated attack mechanics are undeniably fun. Her skill set is designed for players who enjoy a supportive sub-DPS role that enhances the performance of a main DPS. If you're someone who prioritizes character design over raw numbers or loves the aesthetic and thematic appeal of Electro abilities, pulling for Yinlin could be more about personal preference than meta optimization. However, pulling for Yinlin now might not be the best long-term decision. If you're a fan of her design or playstyle, she could be worth it. But if you're trying to future-proof your team, it might be wiser to wait. There's always a chance she gets added to the standard banner or gets a rerun at a more favorable time. We have yet to see another Electro main DPS, and even then it's not going to be before 2.3, so for now she's pretty much only made for Xiangli Yao. Moving on to her signature weapon. It comes with a 36% crit rate main stat, a 12% elemental damage buff, and a 36% attack buff when dealing skill damage. This makes it a very strong option for any DPS character who relies heavily on skill damage. Currently, this rectifier is best suited for Yinlin, Zheji, and Anqor. However, it has limited utility for characters like Shorekeeper and Verena, who focus more on healing or buffing rather than dealing damage. While it's not a must-have right now, it's a solid weapon that will likely find use in your roster as the game evolves, assuming there isn't a massive power creep in the weapon pool in future updates. If you're someone who plans their pulls around weapon versatility, it has a decent amount of future-proofing. The crit rate stat is quite high, so that alone will be good enough for any DPS using a rectifier. Well, we're now done with Yinlin, so let's talk about Xiangli Yao. As an Electro main DPS, Xiangli Yao uses gauntlets and XLs at dealing massive damage through his Resonance Liberation. Currently, he's the strongest Electro DPS in the game, and will likely maintain this status until at least version 2.2, as there are no confirmed new Electro characters on the horizon. There is some speculation that Zani might become an Electro DPS, but leaks suggest she'll be a Spectro character. Until this is confirmed, Xiangli Yao remains the best Electro DPS in the market. One of the biggest advantages of Xiangli Yao is his versatility in quick swap, duo DPS team comps. He doesn't necessarily need to be paired with an Electro sub DPS like Yinlin, making him a strong choice for players looking for flexibility. Additionally, main DPS characters are more meta than sub DPS at the moment, though this could change with the introduction of new Echoes and Sonata sets in version 2.0. For players who prefer fast-paced gameplay and characters that thrive on synergy with diverse teams, Xiangli Yao really delivers. I would say the only downside is his design. Zheji and Xiangli Yao was mostly a filler patch, plus Xiangli Yao was free even, so if I had to spend Astrites or Lunites to get him, I would feel bad. But if you're going for his resonance chain, then go ahead. But I think we will have better Electro characters in the future, gameplay and design-wise. And finally, Xiangli Yao's signature weapon is a gauntlet with a 24% crit rate, a 12% damage buff, and a massive 48% boost to resonance liberation damage. If you're planning to main Xiangli Yao, this weapon is a no-brainer. It's tailored perfectly for his kit and maximizes his potential. But even beyond Xiangli Yao, this gauntlet has utility for other gauntlet-wielding characters like Jianxin, Ling Yang, Yuhu, and Yuanwu. It's likely their best-in-slot weapon for now. The one exception is Rochia, which will be available in second phase of 2.0, who might not benefit as much from the resonance liberation buff, but she could still make good use of the weapon's crit rate and damage bonuses. While it's undeniably powerful for Xiangli Yao, its crit rate and general damage buffs make it a solid choice for any gauntlet-based character. The release of Rochia's signature weapon might shake up this recommendation, but for now, it remains a top-tier choice. If you're hesitant, you could wait until the end of the rerun to see if any leaks about Rochia's signature gauntlet emerge. If it turns out to be stronger, you'll be glad you held off. But as of now, Xiangli Yao's gauntlet is one of the safest weapon investments in the game. So in conclusion, should you pull? Here's the breakdown. Carlotta being the most fun character to play so far, and a main DPS on top of that, pulling for Yinlin or Xiangli Yao is pretty risky unless you have a lot of astrites, or if you're willing to spend whatever you need to get Carlotta anyway. You also have to consider that 2.0 and above will have 2 new limited 5-star per patch, so it's gonna get extremely heavy on our astrites. So I would say skip Yinlin and Xiangli Yao unless you're a big fan of them. You most likely already have Xiangli Yao, which you can support in many ways if you don't have Yinlin. Her value is situational, and she could easily be power crept in future updates. Same thing for their resonance chains, it's gonna cost a lot, right? Before a massive update, in my opinion, not a good idea if you're a low spender. But for their weapons, it's a slightly different story. I think you could pull for them if you already have Yinlin and Xiangli Yao. You might still be able to use them on future characters, even if they're not being the best in slot weapons, they would still perform pretty well. Ultimately, if you're on the fence, consider waiting until closer to the end of the banner for more leaks and info. That's it for my analysis. Let me know in the comments who you're pulling for or if you're saving for future updates. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more Wuthering Waves content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.